Hey YouTube, day 10 here of the Prop 8 federal trial, and yes, I'm exhausted. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been reading this since 11. Anyway, to get started, this is probably going to definitely be more than one video. It's very long, and the reason for that is I just want to appear as unbiased as possible. This one is really good for our side. It's probably the best day we've had. And there we go. So the day started by admitting tons of finalizing paperwork and DVDs, most of which came from ProtectMarriage.com, that clearly showed their interest in promoting the idea of animal sex, bestiality, polygamy, and incest as the next steps after homosexuals would be allowed to marry. This is important to our case because it shows where the minds of our enemies truly are. They really believe we want to vote on this stuff after we get the same-sex marriage enacted. It's kind of crazy, but whatever. Now, it's a lot of data, and just read it for yourself if you want. The good guys then rest their case, and the hate lawyers take over by putting their first expert on the stand. What I mean by rest their case is we're done for a while as far as calling our own expert witnesses and our own witnesses, regular witnesses, and now the defense, which has 2 expert witnesses, and this is their first one, so it's kind of their day. His name is Professor Miller, and his record is read in court. I admit I am confused by his record. It's a lot of big words. I've never heard them before, and my vocabulary is well above the college level in all my SAT scores. Eventually I find out that he is a political science expert, and that kind of clarified some things for me. That's definitely not my field of study. The good lawyers question him to find out if he is an expert. It should be noted that the hate lawyers have never done this to any of our expert witnesses, so it should be noted. The good lawyers ask him many questions regarding the history of the gay movement, and I kid you not, he did not know the first gays to be elected in a public office, and that would be Alan Speer or Elaine Goldman in 1976. And for those of you who keep up with the history, of course, Harvey Milk was also elected. I knew that. I knew Harvey Milk was elected. Was one of the first gays. If I know that, and I'm no friggin' expert on this stuff. Okay, so the good lawyers then try and say he is not an expert, and the judge said this, word for word. It seems to me that his knowledge of American politics is undisputed, which it is. Important to keep him in his testimony of political power of gays and lesbians. I don't understand that defendants are offering him a history of discrimination. I'll admit that testimony as it's brought out with respect to minority groups in California and American politics, so he can be brought out as a political science expert, but not as an expert on gay culture, history, law, things like that. Good, because he doesn't know anything. So basically, now the haters cannot use this guy as an expert. I already said that. Okay, after listening to the political questions this guy is now getting from the hate lawyers, he is definitely very knowledgeable about political questions regarding gay leaders in California and the political power that they do have. The hate lawyer is making the point that we did get a lot of donations and money support to fight Prop 8. Indeed, I did not know this. It was $43 million. Our opponents gave $40 million, so as far as money is concerned, very even. That's something to note. Now he is being questioned whether churches helped defeat Prop 8. He mentions California Council of Churches. California Council of Churches. I looked it up on Google. I searched for it like crazy. It does exist. It has a total of 52 members. That's right, 52 members. Not large. When asked to identify other churches, he pointed out the United Methodists, which I can tell you personally, as an ex-Pentecostal, that the United Methodist is not supportive of gay marriage. I would give it a 20-80% minority at best, and I mean absolute best. And he also points that the American Anglicans support it. Yes, in the vast majority, they would fight against Prop 8. I am a member of an Anglican church myself, and besides people like the Anglican apologists that you can find online, that is true. Guys, I am trying not to be biased here, even though I say hate lawyers a lot, and these issues are very personal to me. But forgive me, but this expert witness does not even know that churches are backing us. I know more churches. The MCC, and the Unitarians, and the All Saints Church. That's 3 right off the top of my head. This expert does not even come close to the experts we called. Not even close. I am going to read this part of this transcript, and you can give me an idea of what you think about this guy's expert. The initiative process... Okay. Initiative would have... Okay, 1978 Briggs Initiative would have fired teachers for promoting otherwise engaging in homo acts. I'm just paraphrasing. What was the vote? Homosexual acts there. What was vote? Contested campaign after mobilization, vote was decisive, 58%. No, so we won that. What about 1980s? Which measure? 3 measures that 64, 1986, and 66, 1988 brought to make many people subject to quarantine and isolation to HIV 70 to 68%. We lost that vote. Basically, we're not allowed to give blood, and we have to be tested for HIV. Gays more than everybody else. All gays have to be tested. No one else has to be tested. We did lose that vote. It was the idea that HIV is a gay disease, which has been proven it's not. Which ones did not get on the ballot? He just says if conservatives thought they could win on domestic partnerships, they could have gone to the ballot, but there was not one. No domestic partnership ballots. Then he says, how many states have hate crime legislation? 22 plus. How about LGBT candidates who won office? The website said 80 to 111 in 2008 elected to office, more in 2009, 49 to 79. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here because my battery's dying. And say, well, actually, I'm not going to stop it yet. This will definitely be a 2-part video. I kid you not, his testimony was so short that I went back and read the end to make sure it was the end. That was the end. Now, in case you think that transcript was our guys questioning him, no. That was the hate lawyer questioning his own expert witness. And his own expert witness didn't know the answers. Or in fact, if he does know the answers, he just lied. How many of you know that California did, in fact, put legislation for domestic partnerships on the ballot and that it passed back in 2004? How many of you know that? Because I don't live in California. I knew that way before this came up. Because I know that domestic partnerships are allowed in California. So that means that a ballot must have gone out, or popular vote, which is still going on a ballot regardless. So it must have happened. I knew that. Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I have to charge my battery. But look forward to part 2, where our guys will cross-examine this expert witness. I'm going to read right from the transcript on a lot of things. Here we go.